Hello, my name is Agent Lulek. I am small, very small in fact, but my missions are extremely serious. Not everyone can become an agent. You must have sharp ears, fast paws, and most importantly, a nose that can detect absolutely everything. And today, my nose detected something extraordinary. A smell, not just any smell, a smell of national importance. Because in my sector, Dad had just sat down for dinner, and on the table, there appeared an object of great strategic value. The mission's code name was clear: Project Ham Sandwich. Target detected. My sensors began vibrating immediately. I lifted my nose and performed a full atmospheric analysis. Chemical composition of the air: 80% smoked ham, 15% butter, 5% lettuce. The lettuce is irrelevant and will be ignored. Dad opened the fridge. He calmly removed a plate, not just any plate, the plate of destiny. On it rested the object itself, a beautiful, glorious, perfectly constructed ham sandwich. Target confirmed, object type, ham sandwich, estimated height, 75 centimeters above ground level. I paused dramatically, switching to stealth mode. Interrogation of Count Clawsworth. But before launching the operation, I required assistance, or at least consultation. On the windowsill sat the most suspicious individual in the entire household, Count Clawsworth, the cat. He was pretending to read the instruction manual of a flower pot. Very suspicious behavior. Count, I whispered, crawling slowly across the carpet. Dad has ham. I repeat, ham. I require a diversion. The Count slowly lifted one eyebrow. Agent, he said, with aristocratic disappointment. Your crawling technique reminds me of a very determined but completely confused penguin. That is tactical movement, I protested. If you want the ham, the Count continued calmly, simply push over the vase. In the chaos, you could steal the entire sandwich. That is unethical, I said firmly. I am an agent, not a pirate. Count Clawsworth sighed. Then prepare yourself for failure. He flicked his tail lazily. Your famous buttery eyes may work on Mother, but Dad has a heart of granite and a trainer-approved diet. This was troubling information, but the mission had already begun. There was no turning back. Psychological attack, Phase 1. I moved quietly into position. Location: next to the table leg. I deployed a well-known tactical maneuver. Chin on knee. This technique is legendary, extremely powerful, and highly emotional. I gently placed my chin on Dad's knee. My eyes expanded by approximately 400%. Target shows no reaction. Dad continues reading newspaper. I increased the intensity of the gaze, adding slight tremble of the left ear. Still nothing. The situation was becoming critical. Ultimate weapon, Phase 2. Since the first strategy failed, I deployed my most powerful emotional weapon, the quiet sigh of suffering. I released a long dramatic sigh, the kind of sigh that suggests the entire universe has just cancelled dinner forever. Dad finally looked down. Lulek, he said, don't look at me like that. You know it's not healthy. You have your biscuits. Target has initiated verbal communication. This is progress. Every agent knows. Conversation is the first crack in the defense. Victory was still possible. Commentary from the cupboard. Count Clawsworth had now moved to a better viewing position. He was clearly enjoying the show. Did he just offer you biscuits, Lulek? The Count said calmly. That is nearly as humiliating as wearing that pink bow at Christmas. Silence, cat, I whispered angrily. You are about to witness true magic. The Count studied me carefully. I see only a dog who is about to drown in his own drool. He tilted his head slightly. Your leakage system appears to be malfunctioning. I ignored the insult, because suddenly, something incredible happened. The critical moment. Dad became distracted. The phone rang. Dad turned his head toward the sound, and in that moment, he placed the sandwich on the very edge of the plate. Code red. Target exposed. Initiating Phase 3, gentle nose nudge. I carefully nudged Dad's elbow, just slightly, very slightly, and then it happened. A small piece of ham detached itself from the sandwich. To Dad, it was the size of a postage stamp. But to me, it was the size of a continent, and it began to fall. Slowly, very slowly. Time itself seemed to pause. I watched the ham descend through the air. In my mind, dramatic action movie music began to play. Extremely dramatic, more dramatic than necessary, and then, clap. Triumph and escape. Perfect capture, mid-air, professional execution. Before Dad could say, "Lulek, no," the evidence had already disappeared into my stomach. Operation complete. I immediately activated emergency protocol. Rapid retreat under the sofa. From my new strategic location beneath the sofa, I licked my nose with pride. Count Clawsworth slowly applauded with one paw. "Well, well," he said, "the seagull method appears to have worked, although that was merely a crumb. Personally, I would have taken the entire ham, including the butter." I lifted my head proudly. Success is measured in grams, not kilograms, Count. Mission complete. Resources secured. Losses: 2 liters of drool on the carpet. Personal dignity: I pretended to be the saddest dog in the universe. And Dad is now watching me very suspiciously. Gains: 1 slice of ham. Quality: premium. And confirmation that Dad does, in fact, have a heart. At least, for approximately 2 seconds. Remember this, agents. Do not panic. Stay calm. Be like Agent Lulek. And always, wait for the phone to distract the target. That is the secret to success. Until the next mission, Agent Lulek, signing off.